Undoubtedly, campers have changed through the years, but despite the obvious modernization of their outward appearances, it's quite surprising that the features that are available today aren't vastly different than they were 40 to 50 years ago. I'm Reacher, and today we're bringing you 15 vintage campers that will take you back in time.
Number 15.
Custom built by the Grace brothers at Birkenhead, South Australia, this camper is truly one of a kind. Dating back almost 60 years, the Highway Palace has all the luxury that the name promises. At just over 42 feet long, the spacious interior provides plenty of room to move around, but the trade-off is that it only houses 2 single beds. With a large kitchen, plenty of cupboard space, and a raised wood-paneled dining area, restricted sleeping quarters just might be forgiven, especially as the bathroom contains its own sunken tub.
Number 14.
Not a lot of information can be found for this 1926 GMC Motorhome, but it does appear that this was originally built for a doctor living in New York who used it to drive down to Florida for the winter. It does look to have a rear deck spanning the width of the vehicle, as well as fold-down bunk beds above the bench seats.
Number 13.
Hollywood cinematographer J. Roy Hunt spent a lot of time away from home, leading him to build several Hunt cars, but it was the 1937 model onwards that drew the most attention with its futuristic look. Built on a 1937 Ford truck chassis and a streamlined body thanks to the use of aircraft engineering, the model is believed to be the first to house a fully functioning shower and toilet. The interior is quite crowded, though the light wood finish manages to give it an airy feel. Only 50 of these were ever built in the following decade, making them incredibly rare.
Number 12.
The telescopic apartment was a nifty addition that attached to the back of a Model T Ford. The apartment had slide-out compartments that offered everything you would need while away from the comforts of your own home, such as a kitchen area complete with a camp stove, as well as a chest of drawers. A full bed was nestled inside the body of the apartment, providing privacy and shelter when sleeping.
Number 11.
They say that good things come in small packages, and that's certainly true with the Wa.Wa Caravan. Weighing in at only 662 pounds, it doesn't need a powerful car to tow it around. The whole thing is made of wood except for the rear window and chassis. The interior contains a small kitchen with a sink and gas cooker with standing room that can be increased via the pop-up roof. Unfortunately, a twin bed is the limit for the sleeping arrangements. And while this may be one of the smaller caravans, it does boast a custom-made tent that attaches to the side and gives some much-needed legroom.
Number 10.
Restored especially for the 2017 SEMA show, this 1950 Westcraft Coronado trailer literally shines. The new aluminum exterior has been professionally painted with complementing champagne and chocolate colors to maintain the vintage feel. The interior has been fitted with new wiring and plumbing, and the wood finish gives off a warm, cozy feel to the roomy living space. With a double bed at one end and a relaxing living room at the other, what's not to love?
Number 9.
This Woodsman 4x4 looks more like a tank than a motorhome with its sharply angled sides, but despite the somewhat unhomely look, it boasts a shower, 3-way fridge, and furnace. The 20-foot-long behemoth may not be the most attractive of the bunch, but it's definitely more robust than the rest on this list.
Number 8.
Originally built by the Palace Company in Flint, Michigan, the 1948 Palace Royal sports the company's trademark round port windows and steel body. The birchwood interior gives the living space a homey feel and features a spacious lounge area, kitchen, and bedroom. With more than enough space and character to go around, this trailer puts some of the more recent motorhomes to shame.
Number 7.
This next entry was launched in 1947 and went on to become the best-selling vehicle of its type in France. With rear-wheel drive and an extremely reliable engine, it was a firm choice for many traders. The designer converted the van into a motorhome and reconfigured the bodywork and layout, equipping it with a kitchenette, a double bed, and a bathroom. Topping it off was a 4-speed gearbox capable of producing a top speed of 50 miles per hour.
Number 6.
The 1969 CJ5 Jeep Camper was the result of Kaiser Jeep's decision to branch out into recreational vehicles. As part of their Great Jeep Escape campaign, 3 RVs were introduced. Or perhaps it's more accurate to say that it came as a factory option, as the camper was mounted on the bed of the vehicle, complete with its own axle and brakes. Able to sleep 4 people by converting the table into a bed, the camper also boasted a full kitchen and dining area, as well as a bathroom.
Number 5.
Available in 1976 and 1977, the Blazer Chalet camper saw less than 2,000 units produced. It was mounted on the back of a Chevy Blazer with the roof of the cab cut away to allow direct access to the living quarters. Features included a dinette area and kitchen, a 2-burner log stove, and room to sleep 2 people.
Number 4.
Built in 1954, the Royal Windsor toured the country in a traveling circus. A further 2 were built, with all of them featuring Mollycroft roofs which allowed natural light into the interior. The original was 37 feet long but was extended to 42 feet in 1960. In 2012, it was fully restored to include modern luxuries such as central heating, a dishwasher, a flushing toilet, and a shower.
Number 3.
Manufactured during a 9-year span starting in 1956, this entry definitely wasn't flashy or fancy. Directly behind the cab is a dinette area with bench seating and a wall-mounted table, while a stainless steel sink with fold-down cabinet top covers sits above a mini refrigerator. At the time it was in production, it was considered the best on the market, going for a price that was equivalent to the cost of 2 houses.
Number 2.
This hand-built caravan was originally patented in 1952 and saw a healthy production run that lasted 20 years. Much like the previously mentioned Wa.Wa Caravan, this one was built with economy in mind and the ability to be towed with less powerful vehicles. The spring-loaded opening mechanisms allow almost any person to set it up single-handed. The interior houses a double bed, kitchen, and dining table that converts to an extra bed. Although it looks small, it offers over 6 feet of headroom when opened.
Number 1.
Former president of the Ford Motor Company, Seaman Knudsen, came up with the idea for the Rectrans when he joined the White Motor Company in 1971. Built over a 3-year span, it came with a fridge, water heater, stove, and furnace. One of the most appealing features of this was the ability of the engine to get over 10 miles per gallon moving a 5-ton motorhome. Hopefully this list took you back to a simpler time, or perhaps it gave you some insight into the history of the camper that you might not have known before. While today's campers, RVs, and motorhomes may look shinier and sleeker, they don't seem to have quite the same character as some of their predecessors.
Hey guys, this is Cassie. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell us in the comments below what you found to be the most interesting and why. Also, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our latest videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.